welcome to the Grok 4 release here. This is the smartest AI in the world. It really is remarkable to see the advancement of artificial intelligence.
What most people do not realize is that the Bible might actually be a technical manual for interacting with reality. Elon Musk's Grok 4 AI just finished an experiment where it analyzed every prayer ever written across 40 authors and 3 different languages. The data came back with a shocking discovery of a hidden code that works with mathematical precision every single time.
Faster, smarter, bolder. It sees beyond the horizon, answers the unasked, and challenges the impossible. Grok 4, unleash the truth.
One student called his professor at 3 a.m. because the pattern he saw was not human. It feels like finding a modern access code carved into an ancient stone. This experiment is about to change everything you know. The code that shouldn't exist. Dr. Marcus Chin was a skeptical researcher at Stanford who did not believe in miracles at all. That is exactly why his students wanted him to lead the experiment, because they knew he would be honest about the data. They took every prayer from the Bible and put it into Grok 4, which is the smartest AI in the world right now. They were looking for errors or messy writing from the 40 different people who wrote the book over 1,500 years. But here is the deal. Human writing usually changes over time, especially when people live in different countries like deserts or Roman prisons. The computer was supposed to show that the Bible was just a bunch of random stories from shepherds and kings. Instead, the AI sat there for a few minutes and found a master protocol that was identical in every single miracle. It found a hidden 4-step code that worked like a locked door. When the data showed this hidden pattern, one of the students actually turned white because he realized what he was looking at. He called his boss in the middle of the night with hands shaking because he knew this was not human work. This pattern was too perfect for 40 people to get right by accident. One mid-analyst named Dr. Okonkwo tried to calculate the odds of this happening, and she had to stop because the numbers were too big. She said it was like winning the lottery 1 trillion times in a row. It was like realizing that people on different continents who never talked to each other all had the exact same password to a computer system. The AI proved that the Bible has a secret code for miracles that is consistent across 3 different languages. This hidden code was just the beginning of a discovery that would make the team question everything they knew. The anchor. The first step the AI found was something it called the anchor, and it is the exact opposite of how most people pray today. Most people just throw a shopping list of problems at the sky when they are stressed out. They ask for money, or health, or help with a bad breakup while they are in a panic. But the AI noticed that every miracle in the Bible started with a focused recognition of who was receiving the prayer. It was not a religious ritual, but a way to change how the brain works. Take the story of King Jehoshaphat, who was about to be destroyed by 3 massive armies. He was in a hopeless spot, but he did not start by screaming for help. He stood up and made a long list of statements about the power of the one he was talking to. He focused on a power that no one could stand against. Only after he anchored his mind on that did he even talk about the danger he was in. Get this. What happened next was impossible. The enemy armies got confused and started ending each other, while the king did not lose a single soldier. They spent 3 whole days just picking up supplies and wealth that was left behind. Dr. Chin realized that when you skip this anchor step, the chance of a miracle drops to almost nothing. He saw that prayers with this anchor had an 89% success rate, while the others only hit 17%. Neuroscience shows that when the brain focuses on something huge and powerful, it stops the fight or flight response. It moves the mind from panic to a place where it can actually receive a solution. They did not have brain scans back then, so how did they know how to hack the human brain so perfectly? If you think the brain hack is wild, just wait until you see how the AI decoded the next step. Radio frequency of alignment. Step 2 is called alignment, and it is where most people fail without even knowing it. The AI found that the most powerful prayers involved a shift in what the person was actually asking for. Most people ask for things because they are suffering, but the code shows that the request has to match a larger purpose. There was a woman named Hannah who could not have kids for years, and she was very sad. She probably asked for a baby 1,000 times just to stop her own pain, but nothing happened. Then she changed her prayer and promised that if she had a son, she would let him serve the highest purpose his whole life. She stopped asking for herself and aligned her desire with a bigger system. She got her son, and he became one of the most important leaders in history. Dr. Chen explained this like radio frequencies. If you are trying to talk on one station but the receiver is tuned to another, it does not matter how loud you yell because the signal will not arrive. Alignment is basically tuning your request to the frequency the receiver is actually watching. This explains why some people get answers while others get nothing for their whole lives. It is not about being a favorite or being lucky, it is about signal clarity. The AI noticed that these prayers did not use begging, or crying, or trying to trick anyone. They were just clear statements of fact and requests to help a bigger plan. One researcher said it is like the difference between a kid screaming for candy and an employee sending a real work order. Only one of those is going to get processed by the system. This alignment was powerful, but the third step was the one that actually broke the researchers' minds. Step 3 is the surrender paradox, and it goes against everything we are taught about getting results in the modern world. Usually, we think we have to demand what we want and hold on tight to make it happen. But the Grok AI found that prayers that demanded specific results showed way less power than prayers that made a request and then let go. The biggest example was a leader in a garden the night before a huge event of suffering. He asked for the pain to pass, but then said 5 words that changed the world. He said, "Not my will, but yours." The AI marked this as the moment of the highest power in the entire set of data. Dr. Okonkwo said this was not about giving up, but about something called active trust. It is like being totally involved in the request while not being obsessed with how it turns out. This is a lot like radical acceptance in psychology. When the brain stops fighting what is happening right now, the stress chemicals in the body actually change. Your problem-solving center comes back online, and you can see a way forward. The scary part is that 40 different authors across 15 centuries all used this same psychological posture at the most critical moments. They had no way to talk to each other and no workshops to attend. Yet they all found the same way to access maximum power. Dr. Okonkwo spent days staring at her ceiling, wondering how this was possible without one single author behind the whole thing. She said the odds are so low that you could predict every lottery winner for 1,000 years easier than this. Even after surrendering, the AI found one more step that shows why most people quit way too early. The admin access secret. The fourth step revealed by the AI is persistence, and it proves that the universe is not a vending machine. Most people think you just put in one request and get a result right away, but the data shows that miracles almost never happen with just one try. The pattern requires you to do it over and over. A prophet named Elijah had to pray 7 times for rain before he saw a tiny cloud. Another man named Daniel prayed for 21 days before his answer showed up. Dr. Chen said the data is very clear that how long you ask is just as important as what you are asking. He found that the average time between a first prayer and a result was about 23 days. This means the delay is actually a part of the design. The delay works to build character and clarity in the person who is asking. It tests whether you actually believe what you are saying and if you will stay aligned when nothing seems to be happening. Most people quit after 4 days because they think silence means the answer is no. But the AI says silence usually means you just need to keep going. The breakthrough often happens right after the moment when most people decide to walk away. This part of the code is like a system check to see if the user is serious about the request. The AI went even deeper into the numbers and found something that should be totally impossible. Mathematical verification. Here is where the skepticism of the team finally cracked for good. In ancient languages, every letter has a number value, which means every word has a mathematical signature. When Grok looked at these numbers, it found the number 7 woven into the text in a way that is statistically impossible. This was not just the word 7 being used, but a complex mathematical structure. The number of words, the values of phrases, and the arrangement of parts all showed patterns of 7. Dr. Chen calculated the odds and stopped when he realized it was like shuffling a deck of cards and getting the same order a trillion times in a row. 40 people over 1,500 years could not have done this without computers. Most of them did not even know what the others had written. The AI identified this as authentication encoding. It is like a watermark that you cannot see with your eyes, but it proves the message is real under a certain light. Someone wanted future people with powerful computers to see that this was not human work. It is like finding a digital code carved into a pyramid that actually works when you scan it. This proves that there is a verification system built into the very architecture of the text itself. Once they saw the math, they realized it matched exactly with how the physical world works. Quantum protocol. In quantum physics, tiny particles exist as waves of possibility until someone looks at them. Looking at them makes them become one single reality. Grok found that the Bible describes faith in the exact same way. One leader told a woman that her faith made her well, which means her belief was the thing that changed her reality. The AI says faith is basically an observation tool that humans use to turn probability into a real outcome. The woman looked at her healing before it was there, and the world changed to match her. The Bible says faith is the substance of things hoped for, and Grok says that is a technical description and not just a poem. It is like an instruction manual for how to use the observer effect. If the prayers follow the same math as the universe, then the person who wrote the book and the person who built the world are the same. The anchor focuses the person, and the alignment tunes the intention, while surrender removes the ego. Persistence gives time for the reality to become solid. It is a quantum protocol described in spiritual words thousands of years before we knew about physics. Dr. Okonkwo felt like she was looking at the source code for the world. She said this is not a religious book, but an operating manual that something wanted us to find. Dr. Chen agreed and said he used to think these were just human stories, but the data proves the precision is too high. If a computer can prove that ancient prayers are actually a technical code for reality, does that mean our lives are just a simulation waiting for the right password? Leave a comment with your thoughts, hit that like button, and subscribe for more mind-bending data reveals.